So we're accomplishing and we're doing, but the question is how much of that is just the addiction to suffering and the dopamine hits that you feel like you're doing something and then you're justifying it? But it did bring me this. Yeah, but there was also a straighter path to it, not this whole zigzag that you had to move through and the obstacles and the overcoming. That wasn't actually necessary. Are you moving with life or against it? Are you slowing yourself down so much more because you're trying to keep up with your ego's validation of I'm worthy and the badge of honor? Are you keeping yourself stuck is really the question that will be answered in this video. How to be more efficient, more effective, and get away from your ego's stories of unworthiness and you'll be enough when, and you can do all these things when XYZ is met. How to get to it. Let's dive right in. I am very excited about this topic because it's one that I've definitely struggled with because I've always been an overachiever. I like things done. I like things done fast. Let's go, go, go. Private clients that work with me know very blunt, very direct approach, and that is why we get those results in 3 months. In the Thrive membership as well, when we have those weekly calls, people are able to have incredible results because we go fast with this, okay? There's no sugarcoating. There's no walking on eggshells. Let's do this. With that, the number of times that I've had those dark nights of the soul, the drama, that was unnecessary. I remember, and actually self-inflicted, it's self-inflicted suffering. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I want you to not experience that. So I remember a very difficult thing I had to do. I felt like I had to do it. And it was cutting off someone from my family, a parent, for some period of time. I at the time thought that it's going to be forever. It isn't now. We have a great relationship. But I at the time thought it was going to be forever. And it was so difficult for me. And this like dark night of the soul. And my friends like holding me through it on the phone as I'm there like sobbing. And like just 48 hours of hell. And working through like it's okay for me to do this. And I have the right to do this. And I'm not heartless. And I'm not, the worst person ever. And it was so difficult. And then I did it and I had the conversation and it was not received well at all. And I expected that's what I was preparing for. And then the next day I speak to my teacher in a group call and I explain, what happened. I'm like, hey, I'm really proud of me. I want to share a win. This is what I did. And he, an incredible shaman, he goes, you didn't have to do that. In fact, the fact that you did that kind of shows that you didn't get the point of it. Changing the outer circumstances and so needing them to change. And for this to be said, this whole dramatic, painful thing, you didn't actually have to do that. My jaw dropped and my eyes whitened. And a friend of mine who was holding me through this was also on the same call. And they go like, wow, I wish he gave you a bit more like validation because that was just brutal. It was such a difficult thing for me to do. And the truth is, and I see it now, even though I hated my teacher's response, it was self-inflicted suffering. And that's what we do. We push through, we get the dopamine hits like, ooh, I accomplished, check, check, check. And we get those hormones and we feel really good for a short amount of time, right? That dopamine addiction. Also the cortisol addiction of like, oh, there's always next, like I gotta stress, right? The stress hormone, we're addicted to stress. And you get those check marks. But what's underneath that? And how about, I'm going to get to the second part in the second part of this video. How about going into addiction to oxytocin instead and maintaining those levels of oxytocin? So when we accomplish and we push through, there's like, oh my God, I did that. And then we try to justify it. I've done it. I definitely have clients who say the same thing. No, but I feel so much lighter now that I pushed through and overcame. Because we need to justify it, right? We wouldn't keep going if it wasn't some kind of validation. Again, that dopamine hit. I did the difficult thing. Check mark. I feel better about myself. The hormones are released, right? It's actually unnecessary. And so much of it is like, you don't have the badge of honor from your mind, from the inner critic, from the ego, being like, you know what? This just came easy for me. I didn't struggle at all. I don't know what all these people are talking about where it's like, life's so hard. No, it's easy for me. you wouldn't get the validation. You wouldn't also get the social it depends on the groups, right? It's like, because when I stepped into that, I'm like, I'm done with the old story. I don't want that narrative anymore. I want people who praise me when I say, this was so easy. I didn't even do anything for it. And making that my new reality, and then attracting the kind of people into my tribe that expected that from me. It's like, we don't connect through crap stories of how everything's wrong, or the struggles or the dark nights of the soul, or how everything sucks and here we are thriving instead. No, we're going into what is working, and our devotion to joy, our devotion to happiness, to alignment, to expansion. And so you absolutely do attract those kind of people, but at the beginning, it's not gratifying. It's the opposite of that, right? You become the outcast, like, ugh, everything's easy for you. We are praised when we suffer. We are praised when we're struggling. Thinking of it even in childhood, I'm often observing children that are there just playing nicely. They don't really get attention from their parents. Their parents are just socializing with other parents, and the child's nicely playing in the corner. There's a child that's crying. Oh, the parents rush. What do you need? And they get all this attention, versus the child that just is quietly playing. They're not a problem. So therefore they don't get as much love, or attention. And so we're taught to connect through suffering. We're taught to, when we're struggling, that we're doing everything right. We get love, we get attention, we get praise, even from ourselves. It's not about the outer environment, it's about what's going on in here. We love ourselves more when we can give this badge of honor. I struggled so hard to get here. Like me on that call with my teacher. It was so difficult, but I did it, and I had this conversation, and I just told that person that I don't want to have any more contact with them. Boom, I'm amazing, I did it. That wasn't necessary. It's like, wait, what? No. What are you talking about? I struggled, I deserve to feel good about myself. I'm worthy. And the constant proving that you are doing to your own inner critic. And part of this, how do we move past this, right? Part of this is boundaries. We just did a workshop actually around boundaries in Thrive in the membership. This is definitely something I do in my one-on-one work, but this is also something that we strengthen and we keep going at every single week in Thrive in the membership at like a fraction of my one-on-one price. There's information below, by the way, if you want to check it out. So we just had a workshop about boundaries, the different kinds. There's like 6 different categories of boundaries. There are so many more, but I decided to highlight those 6. And how do we create those boundaries? The difference between, punishment and boundaries, and understanding that where's that within ourselves? The punishments versus the boundaries that we have within ourselves. And all the suffering that is so unnecessary that your mind, your inner critic will put you through. Jump through all these hoops, then you're going to be worthy. But you never are. And then it's punishment after punishment when you're not good enough, because you never really get there. So just wiggling your fingers and your toes and just coming into your body. Taking a deep inhale in, and if you feel comfortable, putting your hands on your heart. What would it feel like if I stopped proving myself to myself? What if I just accept myself as worthy right now? What if I stopped jumping through the hoops and the achievements and the struggling? If I struggle, then I'm worthy. What if everything just, I'm opening up my hands like that and things are just falling from the sky and like, yep, I'm worthy. How comfortable are you with that? And I know from the workshops that we did previously in Thrive, which are, again, in the membership library, June, July, we did workshops around prosperity and wealth consciousness. And what came up for so many was, I feel actually unworthy of it. So it's like, yeah, I want it, but oh no, we have to struggle or we have to overcome to be able to achieve that. And the line does get pushed, like, okay, now further, now I'm worthy of more and more. But why not get rid of that bar entirely? Because there is a faster way. So, with this video, the invitation is just, what if you practice? What would it look like? What would it feel like to go through your day with this? Maybe I don't need to prove myself. What would that be like? What would that feel like? How would that person who doesn't need to prove themselves anymore, how did they move through life? Just try that code on and see what happens. Let me know below in the comments, what did you receive? What did you hear me say? And let's take a deep inhale into this to allow that spaciousness of this new belief system. New, maybe it's not even a belief yet because it has to be repetitive for that. An idea to play with. Deep inhale in. And exhaling out. So it is. I thank you for being here, and I'm wishing you a powerful week.